don't like being in the spotlight.
Well, you're the guest. You got to be in the spotlight, you know? All right, so we got episode 24 of the Cavemen podcast today. We got Rickey Lambert. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah, welcome
My pleasure.
in. Thank you.
So, you're back in town for at least a while, back in Berlin?
Yeah, hanging out, yeah.
Nice. So, grew up here all the way through high school. And then after high school, what happened after that?
So after high school, I took a gap year.
Okay.
Never went back, but went to Europe.
Really?
Yeah, hung out in Italy for a little bit, and then COVID started. So
Yeah.
Came back to the States, moved to Florida.
So what were you doing in Europe?
I just wanted to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing Workaway.
Okay.
I was gonna say, didn't you join some type of program or something that like allowed you to like work out there and live with? You lived with somebody, or you lived?
I was like an au pair.
Yep.
So yeah.
Nice.
So what were you doing for work?
That's what. So an au pair is when you live with a family.
Okay.
And you're kind of like a nanny.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just in Italy? Where in Italy?
Milan.
No kidding. That's cool. Did you like it out there?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And then, so you said you moved to Florida like during COVID?
So I was out in Italy. COVID started. Came back to the States in early 2020, and then in the fall, in the summer, I drove to Florida. Can you hear me? And then I drove to Florida in the summer, and then I was down there for almost 3 years.
Doing what?
Bouncing a little bit.
Yeah.
Got my real estate license.
Nice.
Tried to find success at that. It was a lot harder than I thought.
How so? What were you trying to do?
Like sell houses.
Oh, just, okay. Just
Yeah.
being like a realtor?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so I saw you were doing life insurance for a while.
Yeah.
Was that in Florida?
No, I was in Texas.
That was when you moved to Texas. So you were doing you were just trying to do real estate for the most of the time you were in Florida?
So 2020 moved to Florida. Heard about real estate.
Yeah.
Started studying for it. Got my license, and then for about a year or so, tried to make that work.
Okay. And what made you want to move down to Florida?
My aunt lived down there.
Okay.
Yeah, just nicer weather.
Yeah.
Less the COVID was a big deal,
Yeah.
so down there was like not as bad.
Yeah. So did you end up? Yeah.
I was gonna say, shout out to their governor. He kind of just let them
Yeah.
run free through COVID anyway, right? Like there wasn't as much strict laws and stuff. Like you kind of just went about life as your normal.
Yeah.
So did you end up getting any work as a realtor, or was that there?
I showed like one house.
Yeah. And then moved on to what?
So after Florida, I came back home.
Okay.
And I was up here for a year.
Okay.
And then when I was leaving Florida, or when I was like towards the end of my time in Florida, I could feel God calling me to Dallas.
Okay.
And I drove out there after I left here.
Have you always been religious, or is it something that came on a little bit later?
I was raised Christian,
Okay.
and then we got right into it. we should have anyway. Yeah, raised Christian, and then in high school I actually kind of like became agnostic atheist.
Okay.
Didn't really believe in God.
Yeah.
And then when COVID started, I started looking more into God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I accepted Jesus.
What made you want to do that?
I started seeing like major coincidences in life.
Yeah.
And then just started like putting the pieces together and
Yeah,
realizing
yeah,
that there
yeah.
is a higher power,
Yeah.
there is a God. And it wasn't until I was in Florida when I started hearing testimonies.
Yeah.
That I felt like Jesus is God, and so I accepted Jesus, and that's when I got my first connection to God on a personal level. And yeah, just opened the Bible, started reading the Bible every day. And when you open the Bible, you know, you can be reading about this, but God's talking about this. You know what I mean? God's just speaking to you through the words. You don't have to be. And so you're learning about what's in the Bible, but he's also speaking to you in your personal life. And that's when I felt that for the first time.
Like it's like a bunch of analogies for what you're
Yeah.
going through personally, like
So
living
you're
and stuff
saying
like that.
Yeah.
as you're reading the Bible, you can find ways to apply it to what's going on in your life, basically, right?
Yes, but also it's very personal too, because
Okay.
it's like he's speaking directly to you, like in that moment. You know what I mean? Like in present time, like those words are like hitting your soul from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, okay. Nice. So then moved to Dallas.
Yep. I was in Berlin for a while, like a
Yeah.
year after Florida, and that's when I spent a lot of time with God. Just isolated up here.
Trying to figure out what you really wanted to do and stuff.
Yeah, I was very focused on him at the time, for that whole year. So,
Yeah.
so 2020 in Florida, moved back in 2023, like New Year's of 2023,
Yeah.
going into 2023. Spent the whole year of 2023, up here, and just spent a lot of time in the Bible and watching YouTube videos,
Yep.
podcasts, all about being a Christian. And
So now when you get into like Jesus and God and reading the Bible and stuff, would you say it's better to do your own kind of research, or like, I know there's different religions and stuff. I'm not too familiar with like how far they differ from each other, but like, did you go to church or did you start reading the Bible on your own? Did you look up, like you just said, the videos on your own? Like, do you prefer that way of kind of self-taught, or would you say going to church benefits?
Alright guys, today's video is brought to you by Strive Fitness Coaching. Strive's goal is to help working men and women achieve all their fitness dreams by providing them with workout programs that adapt to their work schedule and also providing easy to follow diet plans. And guys, now is the time to get in shape for summer. I mean, it's going to come quicker than you think. So if you want to get started with Strive Fitness Coaching, all you have to do is text Strive to 603-728-5806.
so when I accepted Jesus and I opened the Bible and I felt him speaking to me through the words on the page, and also even without reading the Bible, just like go walking through life
Yeah.
and feeling or hearing just maybe him speaking to you about whatever it may be, that's when I developed that, I guess, sensitivity to his voice. And to answer your question, basically the Holy Spirit prompting questions in me is kind of like what I followed. And so if the Holy Spirit was asking or putting curiosity in me about a certain topic, I would look into that.
Yeah.
And I would look into
Right.
that on YouTube or in the Bible, or, you know, Google it, you know, whatever it may be. And just putting, it's like a big puzzle, but it's an expansive puzzle. It doesn't really end. Because you're putting pieces together, and then wisdom comes in all of these different ways, and you're just stacking it on top of each other, you know, developing more in that character and that and just more of that spirit of God in you.
Yeah. So you said that you felt a calling from him to go to Dallas. It's just pretty much just a feeling, or was there any other motivation to go there? Or
Yeah, so when I was in Florida, I saw in my mind, I think it started in Florida. I saw
Okay.
all capitals Dallas, comma TX in my mind's eye, and I just saw it, like I couldn't get rid of it.
yeah,
And I started looking into theological seminary school. So I
Okay.
thought I was, you know, maybe supposed to be like a preacher or something.
Mhm.
And so I started looking into schools in Dallas and found out that you need to have like a bachelor's degree or something. Or
Oh,
something.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Damn.
It's like a post grad school.
yeah,
And I'd never been to school. So I was like, well, that can't be it. But I know he's calling me there.
Yeah.
So what's out there? I don't know. But, you know, and that's when I came back to Berlin. I was up here for a year. Saw it in my head every day. Couldn't get rid of it. And finally just reached out to a cousin that lives in Texas. I said, how do you like Texas? She said, I love it. Come visit anytime. I went down, stayed with her for about a month, found my place in Dallas, moved in there. And honestly, that's when I backslid. I don't know if you guys know what backsliding is, but
Not really.
I was
no,
gonna
you
say I've
took
heard it been used before,
Yeah.
but I don't know like the full terminology of what it means.
basically when you accept Jesus and you when you accept Jesus, you are a new creation. You are
Yep.
You're one with Christ because you've been cleansed, and so you're supposed to live a new life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went down there and I just fell right into everything going on down there.
Yep.
Which is not what you're supposed to do as a Christian. You're supposed
Right.
to
Such
guard
as what? Just like the
yourself.
party life and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so when you say backslid, you're saying that you fell into that type of stuff, but you think it was kind of supposed to happen. Is that what that is the meaning of it?
Backsliding is like when you're supposed to be
Yeah.
chasing after things of God,
Uh-huh.
and you slide back or you fall back
Okay.
into the things of the world, like chasing girls,
Yeah.
money, stuff, whatever it may be. And that's what happened basically.
So how are you making a living at the time when you first moved down and moved into your own place?
In Dallas.
Yeah.
So I moved down there without a clue as to what God
Yeah.
wanted me to do down there. I went to the gym and saw a guy with a construction shirt on, and I said, "Are you hiring?" And he said, "Yeah." So I started doing construction. Did that for a couple months, and then was on Snapchat. Saw someone post about life insurance.
Yep.
That's when I got my license to sell life insurance, and then it took a while, but in that process of studying to get the life insurance license, I started bouncing, and so I was bouncing, studying for that, got my life insurance license, and tried starting an agency, got a few agents, and then it wasn't the right company. Everyone that I was working with, everyone doesn't work there anymore, or for the most part. But that was that, and then I kind of like took some time off and just partied,
Yeah.
and then I started looking into online fitness coaching.
Yeah.
And I really liked that because it's like your own service.
Mm-hmm.
You're not selling someone else's product.
Yeah.
And so I started off doing that this past summer, and then that's been evolving. I've been learning a lot about that because
Yeah.
I just started out
Mm-hmm.
like professionally with this, like probably about 6 months ago.
Yeah. So going back to the life insurance a little bit, it's pretty popular right now, I would say. Yeah. And
Definitely.
a lot of people think it's kind of like an easy way out. You know what I mean? They go there, get their license, and start selling. But it's not as easy as that, is it? Like, what was your experience of getting your license and starting out trying to sell?
I didn't even realize you needed a license to to sell that. Honestly,
Yeah. Life insurance is definitely not easy. Life insurance sales. As a product, I do recommend it. I just think it's like, it's a good investment,
Yeah.
It leaves behind some security for your loved ones after you pass, and also, I don't know if you guys know about like infinite banking, but
No, not
pulling
really.
from it, and there's a whole lot of just upsides to having a life insurance policy in place, but selling it is a grind, and it's definitely not easy at
Right.
all. You're making like probably thousands of phone calls a week, and
Yeah.
the vast majority of them are like people yelling at you and like
Yeah.
So you're basically like
interested.
cold calling people to see if they
Yeah.
want insurance, right?
And so did you have any real sales experience before that, or no? Kind of just learning as you go?
Yeah, I would say for the most part, not really.
And like when you get your license, is there any like classes, like seminars, selling seminars or anything like that? Or did they give you kind of a script when you start?
So most life insurance agencies, when you join, are gonna have like leaders
Yep.
and people that you learn from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very like boot camp style way of learning.
Yeah.
Like we were doing like I don't even remember how long, 14. I remember we'd start early before the sun would come up. So whatever time that would be, 5, 6. And then we would be getting off at like 11.
And
that
this
was-
is all training?
yeah, training. No pay
Yeah.
for like months, like couple months. You're not, unless you're, but every company's different. You know, this just happened to be the one that I started off with.
Yep.
But there's definitely a lot of good companies out there that do it. Those are my experience with the first
So
company.
which was the harder license to get? The real estate license or your life insurance license?
I would say they're both very similar as far as difficulty goes. I got my Florida real estate license and I studied for probably 6 months. Then it took another 6 months, I think, of, man, that was a long time ago.
I was gonna say, was that so? So like, you can take real estate a class up here, and then take your test, but you can also self-teach for real estate too, and then just go ahead and skip and take the test, right?
I think New Hampshire might allow that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I've heard of some people just like studying on their own, and then like trying to take it, and like if you fail, I think there's stipulations to take it again or something like that, kind of like your driving test when you do that. But I didn't know if Florida was the same or if the life insurance thing was kind of similar. Like, I know you said you had to go through boot camp and stuff, but Florida, I didn't know if you had to take a class for it, kind of like the life insurance, or if that was more self-taught.
I took a in-person class in Florida, which wasn't mandatory, but the online class I took was difficult for me.
Right.
And then in New Hampshire, I took a online class that was like virtual, so there was like a person teaching it,
Mhm.
which is kind of like a hybrid of the two, and that was, I would say, a lot easier.
Really?
Yeah, New Hampshire's real estate course was like pretty easy. And then that answers it?
Yeah. So I just wasn't sure if you kind of like self-taught yourself, if that was easier to do it that way, or if it was compared to the
No.
struggles of doing, like, you know, how you said you'd go in early in the morning for the life insurance and do like the boot camp. I didn't know if that was an easier task to get into real estate compared to the life insurance.
Yeah, I would say real estate. I don't know. They're very similar as far as difficulty goes, but yeah, I would say yeah, they're both tough. It
Yeah.
took me both probably close to a year for each of those. That's just because I wasn't taking it too seriously, but
Yeah. So then, after how long of working for that agency did you decide to step out and start your own?
So I started my agency with life insurance
Yeah.
while I was under someone's agency, because
Okay.
when people say life insurance is like a pyramid scheme, they're not like I think that's like a loaded, that word has a really, like, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is like, kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you're recruiting, you're making money off people that you recruited and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so scalable as a profession, because if you can recruit and your agents can sell, and you know what I mean?
So what kind of goes into starting an agency on your own? Like, did you have an LLC, you know, hiring employees? Is it really that in depth, or is it kind of just like you have some sort of program that allows you to sell life insurance and then you just have people under you signing up and doing it that way?
It really depends on the size, but
Okay.
it does come down to your own business.
Okay.
But it is within a business as well. So it's like, that's why it's kind of like I said, like,
Yeah.
I'm not calling it a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it's definitely.
So were you eventually fully separated from the company that you started with and just working for your own company, or were you always under that company but had your own agents?
So I started off with Globe Life, and I hate name dropping, but started off with Globe Life, and then went to I think, what was the second one? I think Unitrust maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and then went to I'm missing one. Oh, went to Harbor Stone. I went to a few different companies, but today in 2026, they're all the same. Like, it's all
Just all
virtual.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all virtual. Like, you get on Zoom, there's a leader, he's got someone above him, he's got someone above him.
Yeah.
And that's not the point. It's like, as far as an industry goes, it's like there's a lot of agents out there. And I mean, I don't want to discourage anyone, but like, you're making a lot of calls. There's a lot of money in it too, you know?
Yeah.
It depends. I really think it comes down to like, what are you passionate about? You know, where do you feel
Right.
called? Like, that sort of thing. But as far as easy money goes,
And now-
sales isn't.
I guess with life insurance, how life insurance works kind of confuses me a little more than like regular insurance. So like car insurance makes sense because not everybody totals the car that they're paying insurance for, right? So basically insurances make money off of the people that pay for insurance premiums that don't ever use it to pay the people that do use it. But life insurance, when you have life insurance, like, is there stipulations that don't like, say you pass, is there certain stipulations that might not cover your insurance policy based on certain things? So like the premiums you've been paying for years kind of won't pay out, and that's how other people get paid out. Like, how does that work exactly?
So, as far as like numbers go, I don't have them off the top of my head, but I know that whole life insurance pays out. I think it's 100% of the time, unless it's like a suicide or,
Right.
or something along those lines. But I'm trying to think, like,
Yeah, not to put you on the spot. I was just like, that's always been something that's curious to me because like I sold cars for a while, and like to get a car when you sell it, most people needed insurance, and you see what they pay for insurance sometimes, and then you're like, holy shit! But that's how you can make an insurance claim because half the time people don't actually pay it in. So I didn't know if there was like terms like
I would say the
could you
insurance
get like a
companies-
5-year life insurance policy, or like when
Yeah.
you get life insurance, is it infinite? Like, is there certain terms?
Whole life, what's the term life, and then there's a bunch of different other types of like life insurance.
Yeah.
But so the life insurance companies, they make money, I believe, through investing your money.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you're an agent that's selling, are you getting commission off of what they're paying, or is the company paying you for getting the client?
Both sometimes, but most of the time it's commission off of the sale. So if
Yeah.
the client pays, let's say, $100 a month,
Yeah.
and that's $1,200 a year, you're making, let's say, 60% of their annual premium,
Okay.
which would be 60% of 1,200.
Wow, 60%'s a lot. I thought it would be less than that. But-
Yeah, that's actually on the lower end. You can,
Really?
Yeah, on average, I would say you're making, like, honestly today, like 75%.
Wow.
On each sale. That's their annual premium.
Mhm.
Right.
So the life insurance company is getting $1,200 for a year for the rest of their life.
Yep.
You know? But as
Right.
an agent, you're only getting 75% of I say only, but like you said, it is a good amount. 75% of their annual premium, but you're also getting residuals, which is like income that comes in
Yeah.
yearly or
So like you get the commission, the company takes the rest, invest it, and then when that investment goes up, then you get residuals. Does that?
say that again?
So you make your commission, right? Your 75, 80%, and then the rest goes to the company, right? And then they invest it. And then if the investment goes up, then you get residuals. Is that how that works? Or is the company just paying you?
Okay.
like
Oh yeah.
certain
So
rate?
you also get bonuses a lot of the time if you're performing well and whatnot.
Yep.
But
I was gonna say, like, do they have a? So instead of like, maybe when somebody's life insurance goes up, maybe
Yeah.
it was like you sell 10 different people. Do you get like a bonus for that because now you have 10 clients compared to that $1,200? Say you times that by 10, does your residual go up from that?
Yeah, there's a lot of like bonuses and that sort of thing as far as like your structure goes. So like
Yeah.
when you start off, you might only be at 60, 65,
Yeah.
70, depending on the agency. Some are nowadays it's a very, very competitive industry. So like you can start off at 80, 85, like maybe more if you're bringing people on. It's like everything is a negotiation. And so when you're coming in, if you bring a lot of value, then they might look at you and start you off higher than if you weren't bringing anything to the table. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so if you have like an agency already and you're switching companies, you might not start off at, the bottom, you know what I mean? So
So some people say, I want to know your stance on this. Some people say it's unethical selling life insurance because they think you're like scamming old people out of their money. I'm guessing you don't really agree much with that, or do you think no? Because I hear it a lot about life insurance. People think it's kind of an unethical thing, an unethical way to make money. But also there's the other side of it where you could be saving their family, right?
yeah, I would say life insurance is definitely a better investment than, so so when I was asking earlier if you guys knew about infinite banking, if you look into like royal families, like they all have life insurance policies in place with a family structure, including like trusts and life insurance policies and LLCs and S corps, C corps, whatever it may be, whatever their structure is. But there is like basically legal loopholes to funnel your income so that the government can't really touch it. And
Yeah.
so life insurance is one of those investments.
That makes sense.
And like, I understand the concept of life insurance too, because like it's so expensive. Like you see so many times of people passing away now and like the GoFundMe's and stuff like this on Facebook or on social media. And life insurance, that's why I was asking if it goes away or like the terms and stuff. Cause like, I don't understand how they make so much money, but that infinite bacon kind of makes sense if they can loophole how they're making money. But like my mom, I'm 26. My mom has a life insurance policy out on me. And then I have a life insurance policy out on her. Like we took it out on each other. So like she's the beneficiary of mine and I'm the beneficiary of hers, because if one of us pass tragically, like, oh, you never want to think of that, right? But like if that happens, you might not have the $25,000-$30,000
Yeah.
to come out of your bank to cover funeral costs, burial costs, caskets themselves. Like what's the cheapest casket cost nowadays?
Yeah.
A couple $1,000s, right?
Yeah.
Then you still got to pay for what a lot of people don't think of, like, let's just say it's an accident, right? And like they go to the hospital. Well, now you have a transportation from the ambulance bill. You got hospital bills. You got all this stuff that has to be covered that you never have thought of before in your life.
Yeah.
Like it's a great thing to have. Like the money is never gonna help you get your parent back or your kid back or anything like that. But like it's something that if you don't have the money to afford yourself, it's gonna make the process of dealing with it better instead of adding more stress onto you. And that's how we viewed it, and that's why we took stuff out on each other, because don't make a tragedy even more tragic by getting in debt, trying to, do what's right for the dead. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to sell that final expense life insurance.
So final expense, that's just all the funeral costs and stuff.
Yeah, final expenses would be everything that happens after you die, like immediately after. So
Okay.
like you said, funeral costs, all those things. But yeah, life insurance policy, whole life would be like a lump sum of money that
Yeah.
has been not accruing, but just growing.
Yeah.
Like accumulated over time.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just kind of like an extra one that you can add on top, or is it one that you usually will sell by itself as another option?
So typically, final expense life insurance would be like like you said, something like, what's the word?
Just like extra, like thrown
Yeah.
on top, kind of.
Yeah, I can't remember. Supplemental.
Yeah. Okay. So when you got out of high school, you know, obviously most people go to college. Was it a conscious decision to not go to college? Or was it a conscious decision to be like, no, I'm not going to college? Or is it like kind of just you want to take a year to figure it out? Or did you ever think about going to college? Because, you know, it's a big thing now. People are deciding, more and more people are deciding not to go to college. So I just want to know what your thoughts on it are.
So I was in junior, senior year when I started to think about
Yeah.
how I wanted my life to go, and I saw college as a more restrictive path that
Mhm.
was like very you know, you got to you're staying in school
Yeah.
essentially, and it's like even a more intense school than you've been in. And so like after being in school for 18 years of my life, I was like, well, I don't want to go to more school. And I had always been kind of entrepreneurial minded, so looking into things that I could do,
Yeah.
as well as like travel. I want to just take a gap year, and then after that year decide, do I want to go back to school and pursue something with a degree, or do I want to start my own business? And I started traveling, booked a one-way ticket to Italy.
Yeah.
I was gonna travel. I was basically, at the time, I was gonna travel around the world is what I wanted to do. But COVID started, and I ended up coming back.
So you booked your one-way ticket to Europe. Did you have any plan in mind to do that working in the people's houses, or was that just something that when you got there came up?
So I was in Mr. Moore's class, and he recommended Workaway.
Okay.
And that's when I looked into that and found that opportunity, and yeah.
That makes sense. So you're in Dallas and you're done selling life insurance, you take a break, do some partying or whatever, and then what comes next?
I was in that. It was during that summer when I had kind of like wanted to get into online fitness coaching.
Yep.
And that's really what came next.
So you were in Fort Worth for a bit, right? That's kind of a cool spot. Like, did you enjoy kind of the different lifestyle and a different scenery and stuff compared to New Hampshire, or would you say you like it more up here, or?
Honestly, I love it up here. Not today, because of the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so much nicer up here as
Yeah.
nature goes. And honestly, yeah, like,
Well, now you've kind of embraced the country more lifestyle. I feel like just knowing you from growing up and stuff like that. Like when you went to Florida, it almost like fit you at that time. Like, I'm sure you probably still wear them. I'm not hating on them or anything, but like the Timbs, like you were wearing the Timbs and the ripped jeans, and like you fit into that city life, right? Like you had that style and stuff. And then I saw you go to Texas, and now you got the cowboy boots. Like I wear the cowboy boots. You dress in the flannels and you wear that stuff. So you kind of embraced where you've been and lived and stuff like that. So how you said that was kind of your calling to go to Dallas. Like maybe that brought out what was best in you, and now you come back home and you can enjoy the nature part of life now. You don't seek that city style, and you kind of just embraced where you're from. So it's kind of cool to see the transition that you've been through.
yeah.
So
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I love it up here.
Yeah, it's you got to make the most of it. Like you said, the weather sucks, but
Yeah.
when spring hits, you're getting out of that winter seasonal depression. But a lot of people sometimes might still sink into it because a lot of people like the snowmobile and the ice
Mhm.
fishing. I think if you do events up here, you can enjoy what we have.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. And you said growing up, you were kind of that entrepreneurial minded. Like, when did you realize that? Because I went through the same thing, towards the end of high school, and you realize, like, okay, there's nothing really for me to go to college for. You know what I mean? So was there any like motivating factors or people that you looked up to that gave you that kind of entrepreneurial spirit?
So on both sides of my family, I come from an entrepreneurial background. My dad's side, his dad had I want to say it was a drapery business in Oklahoma, and where my dad's from, and then, I don't know if he had another business other than that, but on my mom's side, my grandfather, he was like an orphan when he was young. He had been like abused and whatnot, had a really, really rough childhood, and then he married my grandmother, and they started out like just like they're on welfare,
Yeah.
I believe, and then he started his business, Nordic Construction, and that was able to provide for him and the family, and then yeah, just kept that going. My uncle took it over. I was born in '01, so at the time I want to say my uncle had just taken it over. It was in a transition
Yep.
kind of thing, or it might have been a little bit before that, but my uncle took it over, and then so I grew up watching my uncle run the business, and my mom's got her salon, so I had kind of been surrounded by like
Yeah.
just business, and so it's kind of always been in me, I guess.
Yeah. So now your goal is with the fitness coaching. How did that start? What kind of sparked you on that?
I would say just seeing all of the different online fitness coaches,
Yeah.
and that also being a very big industry,
Mm-hmm.
and so being in life insurance sales, and just not really jiving with that,
Yeah.
and then seeing the online fitness coaching. I've been going to the gym since I was 11 or 12, so I've been in the gym enough. My knowledge was there.
Yeah.
I just said let's start this, and yeah, it's been a learning experience, and it's been evolving, but yeah.
So is that your kind of long-term goal from now on? Just really perfect that fitness coaching and see where you can get with that?
Definitely.
how
And-
many current clients do you have?
I got up to about 10, and then I had to take a step back because I've been working on the business, just giving them better experience.
Yep.
And right now I have probably 6.
So how did you really learn how to, go through the whole process of setting up the programs and, how to manage all like the technology side of it?
Just trial and error and learning as I went.
Yep. And like it can be a little bit confusing because there's like so many apps and everything that you can use, and you kind of just tried a bunch of different ones and see which ones work best for you.
So as far as like running the business goes,
Yeah, like the apps for the diet plans, the apps for the workout programs, all that stuff.
like delivering it to them.
Yes.
Okay, so Trainerize, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I use.
And you've always used that one?
Yes. Yeah.
And that covers the workout and diet?
Yep. Trainerize is covering the everything.
Yep.
It's all in there.
So how did you get your first couple clients? Because I know that can be hard when you kind of don't have any like testimonials or progress pictures to show. So how did you kind of get through that stage of signing your first couple clients when you really had nothing to show?
Honestly, I got on test and everyone was just asking me if I could
Yeah.
coach them.
No
And I
kidding.
was like, yeah, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
And that's when I started to, get into like coaching. And then after going all in on the business and where I was located, I had been focusing on the business so much to the point where I had like, and my girl and everything, where I was like not working out.
Yep.
You know, had to focus on the business for a period of time, but we're back.
Good. So your first couple clients were pretty much just like word of mouth, people you know in real life. Is that
Yeah.
fair to say, or was it more people that you met online by posting your physique?
I would say both. I would say using social media as a networking tool so that you don't really lose connections.
Yep.
But you just build connections and it's through that where you can, create a brand
Yep.
and get exposure, grow your business.
So if you don't mind me asking, what are some good like marketing skills you have for like post and stuff like that?
I would
Maybe
say-
skills is the wrong words, but like techniques, for like videos and stuff like that, posting on social media.
Yeah. I would say it's really all about just posting.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting it's about niche and it's about frequency of posting. If you're able to post often, very often in a particular niche, then Instagram recognizes you within that niche
Mhm.
and then pushes you to that target audience. And it's just that frequency of posting in that niche is what grows the account.
Yeah. And like, I feel like it can be hard to find a niche inside people who already work out or want to work out. So how did you go about finding the right niche? And maybe if you want to share what your niche is.
I would say like fitness related content in general
Mhm.
is the general, but then I'm not sure how fine tuned you can really get it,
Yeah.
but really, yeah, weight loss content, just like tips and whatnot, that sort of content gets it out there in front of the right people. And then having a funnel through CTAs, like call to actions, like so comment and then they comment that, and then I was talking to you earlier about ManyChat, but setting up automations where if that CTA is in the comments and you have it set up where it's recognized as a trigger, you can actually have automated DMs sent, and then from that Instagram recognizes that activity and actually pushes the posts even more.
Mhm.
So with automation and social media today, growing a business specifically using that method or that trick is like it's like a wildfire.
Yeah. And do you think that with AI growing so much, do you think it gets to a point where like you just like an example, you're not even needed anymore? It's just an AI. Someone will start an AI company and part of it will be fitness coaching and it'll be completely run by AI. Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
How far away do you think that is? Is that something you're worried about?
I think that there's always everything. That's a very good question. Yeah, I think that as industries change, there's always going to be a new way to take advantage of the market, and so yeah, definitely.
How personalized can like AI get with that stuff though when it comes to working out? So like I'm not a big
Yeah.
like fitness person. So like let's just say, I've heard people say when they're working out before, oh, I feel like I'm working out and I'm more active and I'm more like maybe strong, like muscular strong, but like my body's like I feel like I'm getting fatter, but I'm working out. Like how personalized can an AI be like, okay, well this is why you're not getting, let's say, cut compared to like you're kind of bulking up and you're gaining muscle, but you might look fatter. Can AI fine tune like why they're in that situation?
I would say absolutely.
You think so?
They're gonna tell AI the problem. It's gonna ask them a series of questions, and then they're gonna say, okay, here's your problem. Here's a brand new workout routine. Is that correct to say, or fair enough to say?
Definitely.
However, I do think that there are ways to get ahead of that curve by incorporating as much AI in it as you can instead of just getting taken over, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It can be a little bit scary, but I just think that if you can get ahead on it, then it's the only thing you can really do, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, too, staying with a business or any product in the future, like just speaking about AI, I think you're always going to have the haters of AI.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really that into technology and stuff like that. Like, I'm a social media, like I'm follow stuff and do that. So like I know about AI and stuff like that, but I'm one of those people too that like if I look something up, I'm just the old school. Like I don't even go on like that chat GPT that we use and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm still in that old school kind of mindset. Like I feel like you're always gonna have that target audience that wants to talk to a real person, wants to know that it's a real person and not have the AI stuff. So like you said, if you get a little combination of both, I think might be like some of the best options, because you're gonna have some people that enjoy the AI, might have a fear of talking to people or communicating, and then you're going to have those people that, well, I want to deal with a real person.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's another part of it too. Like they talk about AI in music and art, like bringing it back to the fitness coaching. I feel like there's going to be a large group of people that want to talk to a real person, communicate with a real person, hop on a Zoom call to go through their programs and stuff and questions like that. And same thing with like music, they say AI is going to take over music. Yeah, maybe like in the studio, but people are still going to want to go see people perform live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you brought this up, because this is actually something that I've been thinking about a lot. I think that reality is going to kind of, I guess, merge or blend, be very blended in to this artificial reality. And I think that for the last, obviously in the early 2000s we had the internet, and then 2010s we had social media, and for the last 10 years, more probably 15, 16, however long, we've had reality, or social media was kind of like a not dramatization, but social media was very much real.
Yep.
It was real, right? Real people and whatnot. And with artificial intelligence basically taking over, I think that social media isn't going to be like we've known it.
Right.
I think it's going to kind of merge with this AI.
Yeah.
And it's going to be indistinguishable from each other. And I think that the next step, the next level of the social media experience is going to be like virtual. I think that it's going to be more of like we could be having this conversation right now in a virtual reality.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have put on the Apple.
No,
I've never tried.
I want to try one.
So,
Yeah, I
want
to try one. So, yeah.
Bro, I cried. I'm serious. I actually was tearing up.
Jesus.
Dude, it's like you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, I think, you're talking about AI in real life merging into one and it becoming indistinguishable. I think there's going to be a need for like a social media platform that is only real people, real connections. So I think as hard as they want to push AI, I think there's always going to be the reverse effect of people are going to want real stuff. At least as long as 100% real genetic humans are around.
100%.
But
I think what you're talking about is actually going to be huge
Yeah.
with AI. Like we're talking about with AI bringing in a virtual or artificial experience
Yeah.
of a lot of different things, like you said, music, social media. There's going to be a pendulum swing
Yep.
in the opposite direction, I think, pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
With like a growth of the authentic,
Yeah.
what is real,
Right.
you know, side of things.
Yeah. And like of all these social media platforms are really trying to be ahead of the race with the AI stuff. And in my opinion, I think they're doing themselves a disservice by pushing this AI into their apps, because like I said, sooner than later somebody's going to come up with a new social media platform that is going to ban all AI. Everything that comes through AI will be banned. It's only going to be real people, and I think that one will become just as big as the Facebooks and everything.
So say don't speak too much. You know, that could be an idea that you
no doubt. I probably don't have the skills for that.
right, but
at
you know,
the-
just create a small little app that
Yeah.
like
Yeah, verified.
if they were to bring back, like, I think of this like Vine. I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember Vine.
Yeah.
Just a short little clips of real people doing maybe dumb things or
Yeah.
funny things. But like, if that was just, you bring that back and it's all people, right? Like you could, or some people like Instagram over TikTok or something. Like if one of those, like you said, was
Yeah.
just all real people, real things. Or even if they were to make an app where it's just straight up things you like follow.
Yeah.
I remember I used to go on Instagram and I used to tell what was the last picture I went to, because it used to have them in order, like from
Yeah.
most recent to the latest posted. I'd like every single picture. So when I got down to the last one, I knew next time that I came on
Yeah.
where I stopped. I can go on my Instagram right now and I might see 5 pictures of people I follow out of 100 posts. And then
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
recommended people off of my algorithm. And
Yeah.
it's just like, that's not what I go on Instagram for. Like, I want to see the friends that I'm already following for their life events that they're posting on
Yeah.
Instagram. Like, I don't care to see this other stuff. So if there was an app directed at those people, like you said, to see live real people, to see the people
Yeah.
they want to see, to do that, I think it would succeed.
Well, I know TikTok has like the following side, but
Yeah, but
there's still it's still ad after ad
Yeah.
after fake promotional. But the problem still lies where I feel like if somebody were to try to start an app or a website or something where it's only real people, the problem still lies where the AI is going to be so good it's going to get past that wall so easily.
That's
You know
what I
mean?
was. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there really is like a redemption
Yeah.
to any of this,
Yeah.
or if we're just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
that's what
Yeah.
most people think. They think that we're just gonna have to evolve along with the AI. There's not really gonna be any way to stop it. We kind of just gonna have to live with it and do our best to
Yeah, it's true.
work
And
along with
you
it.
talk about merging, like, you think AI is like aliens?
What?
I said, do you think AI is kind of like aliens? Have you heard that like connection yet?
Not really.
It's like what's gonna happen when you have to eventually, like you say, you're merging with AI or whatever? Like, could that be a thing with like the aliens? Like, I don't know. It's a conspiracy theory. I get into those.
When you say no, we can talk about that.
But like it's true. Like what? Like they always talk about colonizing Mars or doing all this stuff. Like, you know, it might just be maybe another species that you have to learn to live with,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like when I say aliens too, I'm not saying like aliens, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
eyeballed, like
Yeah.
just alienated different species or whatever. Like you're on the same Earth. You gotta maybe get into a whole, like you have to learn to merge and live with another species, just kind of like the AI. Like, is that
Yeah.
probably like a similarity? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, how many movies are there where it's robots with artificial?
Right. So let's just say instead of aliens, let's say robots. Like,
yeah,
do we gotta
I
live
think
in
that's
this world
probably the
with
more
robots?
realistic version is
Right.
a robot with artificial skin and an
Yeah.
artificial mind that is a billion times smarter and stronger than a human.
What's the one movie where Megan Fox plays the robot?
I don't know. Mason, pull it up.
It's not. Is it Divergent? No.
Search up
In
Megan Fox robot.
Megan
movie.
Fox plays this robot, and the guy's wife gets sick and goes to the hospital, and he becomes like they become in an affair, and she's a robot. And of course, they make this robot like wicked hot, and then this robot then he goes back-
Subservice?
Yes, that's what it is.
Or that's not subservience.
Sub-
Subservience.
yeah. So basically, yeah. I can't even pronounce it, but yeah. So basically, this guy's wife gets sick, goes in the hospital, and she plays a robot. So he buys her at an auction. So basically, she can help around the house and be a nanny
Yeah.
and do all this stuff. But it's a robot with flesh on it and whatever. And they get into a love affair. And then the robot just kind of snaps on the family because the wife ends up not dying, coming back and stuff. But in my head, I was like, they fell in love. Like, this guy falls for her hard because obviously they make her look good, right? She's in flesh, but she's a robot. Then they start having sex, and I'm like, how the fuck are you fucking a robot right now, right? Like, that's what goes through my head.
It's a robot with a fleshlight on it.
I guess so, but it was just like, that was one of those things that I was like, do you, like, Hollywood, is that projecting, like, what's going to be the next thing? Like, are they going to start making nanny robots that look
They already
like
have.
a person?
There's definitely already that. I mean,
Yeah, well, there's nanny robots, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but like, do they look like a real person, like with flesh and?
I think at the moment people realize that that's not really ethical. But there's gonna be a company that's
Yeah.
like, fuck what people think. We're gonna make it, and a ton of people are gonna
Right.
buy it.
And then all they got to do is inside that robot in the computer is put AI.
Yeah.
So now they have human emotion.
So Ricky, let me ask you this: I've seen two stances on this whole AI thing. One side is that the robots that look like humans but are way smarter, way stronger, just overall better in every single way, are gonna take over, and there's gonna be no need for real humans anymore. Okay, that's the one side of it, and the other side of it is that people say that will never happen because there's some way, because they're a robot and because they're connected somehow through technology, that there's a way to just shut it off. So do you think that it's more likely for them to completely take over, or do you think that we'll always have a control over these robots that are powered by AI?
As I was leaving my house, I almost grabbed the Bible,
Yeah.
but I didn't. But I'm telling you, everything that is happening in the world is in the Bible, and it is
Yeah.
all playing out in front of us as we speak.
I actually did just see something about that recently. How, like, I forget what event it's called, but we're closer to it than like we realize, like, or whatever. Because there's something in the Bible along with like the world events that are going on, along with like internal events. Like, you might know more about that if
Yeah,
you
so
want to explain.
What does the
'cause
Bible say is going to happen from kind of where we're at right now, moving towards who knows how long?
I'm curious, what event are you
I,
talking
isn't
about?
it like isn't I could be way wrong, but I'm almost like 95% positive what I was seeing was that it was like Jesus comes back to life, like he resurrects, and this time like he's here, like he's a living person, a part of the world.
That part is going to happen after the tribulation, which is 7 years. The tribulation will start on but it'll start, what is the event?
We can
there's
search
the
it up too
rapture.
if you have the question that.
Yeah, pull up what will trigger the tribulation.
Yeah, because I had saw this in like a video of somebody who was explaining the Bible stuff. I get those, and I was like, damn.
Are you able to increase the size?
Should be able to.
A peace treaty, or that's what it is. Yes, it has to do with the war. It's a peace treaty with Israel.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw somebody reading that, and they were like, you don't understand that, like, everyone that's upset about this needs to sit down and relax, because like this was meant to happen. Like, it was laid out in the Bible that for years this is meant to happen, and like it has to happen for this to happen, and it was Jesus coming to life.
So you said the 7-year tribulation starts when the Antichrist signs a peace treaty or covenant with Israel. So is that saying that after 7 years the tribulation will happen, or the tribulation lasts 7 years when this starts?
So, according to biblical prophecy, okay, so when the Antichrist signs a peace treaty, or covenant with Israel, that is when the 7-year tribulation will start. And when that starts, I believe 3.5 years, I want to say it'll be one world government. That's what the peace treaty is. It's like a one world government.
Okay.
And the first 3.5 years, the people of the world, us, hopefully we're not here. Hopefully, I believe in the rapture. I believe that Christians are taken out of the world before the tribulation. And I've gone, it's not that I'm 100% on that. That's just, I've gone back and forth as to like, are we going to be here? You know, but 3.5 years in is when the Antichrist will reveal himself and say, I'm the Antichrist. And then that's when everyone's going to be like, you know, oh shit, you know?
So let's break this down another level. So the Antichrist refers to what? Can you kind of explain that a little bit?
So the Antichrist is just like as far as the Trinity goes, there is Jesus, there's a Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And the Antichrist there's a Trinity. Did I say tribulation or Trinity?
Trinity.
There's a Trinity of the Antichrist as well. So there's the Antichrist, the false prophet, and the third one, which is Antichrist, false prophet. Let's see what the Trinity of the Antichrist is made up of. This is cool. We just pull it up.
Yeah.
The unholy Trinity described in Revelation consists of Satan. So Satan, the dragon, the Antichrist, the beast from the sea, and the false prophet, the beast from the earth. This trio counterfeits the Holy Trinity, with Satan acting as the anti-God, the Antichrist as the Antichrist, and the false prophet as the spirit, as the anti-spirit. So,
So it's basically just evil. Is that right to say?
The opposite. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the opposite of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
yeah.
So now let's go back. Can you go back to that page we were just on? So tribulation starts. You think that 3.5 years after Antichrist reveals himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
And then those last 3.5 years, I'm curious to see if we were to pull this up. Search 7-year tribulation timeline or something along those lines.
Yeah, I know it says, like, the covenant says it's what, a 7-year treaty between the beast, but I don't know what
False
that.
peace.
I personally believe that the AI will be definitely, I believe, like part of the Antichrist for
Okay.
sure. It's probably going to be like the spirit, you know what I mean? Because it's AI is like, it's not like physical.
Yeah.
You know?
So it says 7-year tribulation begins when the Antichrist signs a covenant with Israel. The first half features false peace, while the second, the Great Tribulation, involves intense wrath, the abomination of desolation, and concludes with Christ's return. So it says the first half is false peace. Can you explain that? Like how you think that first 3.5 years is going to go?
Yeah. So, okay. So for a while,
Yeah.
I was under the impression that the tribulation will start before 2028
Mm-hmm.
because Israel was declared a nation in 1948.
Mm-hmm.
When Jesus' disciples asked Jesus, when will the end come? Jesus said, when the fig tree blossoms and begins to bear fruit, the end is near. The generation that sees the fig tree blossom will not die, but will be taken away. So 1948, the generation that sees the birth of Israel,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Israel was not a nation, not recognized as a nation or a people
Yeah.
for a couple thousand years, like, or maybe more, but they were declared a nation. All of the Jews throughout the world went to Israel and they had their language still, they had their customs, and it was the only people group or religion to ever. Some people think it's like maybe a race, but it's either way. It's a specific group of people.
Yeah.
And everything had been kept intact as far as their, their culture goes for thousands of years, even though they weren't together.
Yep.
They were brought back in 1948. The Bible, Jesus said, those who saw the birth of Israel will not die, but they will be taken up, which is the rapture.
Mm-hmm.
And it says in Joel, I believe, a generation is like 70 to 80 years, I want to say. And so 70 to 80 years since 1948 is 2018 to 2028. But then I was listening to another pastor talk about how the leadership of Israel wasn't actually held by a Jew until like 1968, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
which is another 20 years later. So on the short side, the rapture taking, and I believe the rapture tribulation starting any time between now and 2028 on the earliest side, I believe.
Right.
And then up till maybe 20 years. And then this pastor I was listening to, his name is John Bevere. Highly recommend listening to John Bevere. He said that he believes that a generation is 100 years. And because of 1968, it could be 20 to 40 years from now when the tribulation starts, which brings us to like 2067
Mm-hmm.
or something like that, something along those lines. But either way, I don't think we're like any one of us or anyone listening is going to be dying of old age or making it into like this eternal state in the cloud with the technology and all that BS. I don't think that's happening. I think that the rapture is going to take place, whether it's between today and
Mm-hmm.
40 years from now, 20
Yeah.
years from now. On the generous side, I think it's going to happen a lot sooner than that.
Well,
Basically,
just like reading this right now, like, and like knowing some of the things I know, when you read this, like it says the tribulation starts when the Antichrist confirms a covenant with Israel and many others, marking the beginning of sorrows. Right, that's the beginning of it. But then it says the first 1 to 3.5 years is characterized by the opening of seals, false peace, and increasing turmoil, which is what has already been happening in Israel for the past couple of years. It's been like Iran's been saying they aren't going to make nuclear stuff, but they are. It's been false peace, and then it says midpoint 3.5 years, the covenant breaks, stops the temple sacrifice, and they set up an image of the temple. So is that not where we are right now, kind of with this war happening?
that's very interesting because I believe at the beginning of this year, maybe, or was it the end of last year, there was like peace in the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. It was false peace and increase, and then the turmoil increased, right? And then now all of a sudden we're on the brink of a whole third world war.
Yeah.
And they're trying to set up the image of they're trying to set that image of Israel being the temple and not being the bad people, and we're trying to take out Iran for it.
Yeah.
So like just reading this and knowing what I know from world events, like this is all making a lot more sense to me now. So like, has this already started and people weren't maybe paying attention to it and not understanding? But also, who knows, it maybe we're still at the beginning, and maybe the beginning hasn't started. I don't know, but yeah, just the more we talk about this makes it seem to me like.
So when you talk about the rapture, at what point would that happen? Before the midpoint or after?
So I believe that the rapture will take place at the beginning of the tribulation.
Okay.
But honestly, Cam has a great point. Like, if you're watching this and you haven't accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, I would highly consider. And I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is
so
Well,
like
this is interesting for me. I want to break it down and get a basic understanding. So, tribulation starts first half is false hope, right?
Hey, pull up a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. First one's probably good. Let's see what that says. Oh wow. That has like
That's like
years-
fall.
that has it like already starting. Yeah.
That's crazy. I wonder why it's saying. So we'd be like right here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen that picture, but yeah, this is a very like in-depth conversation.
Yeah.
And like researching this stuff on our own time, and everyone listening on your own time,
Right.
looking into this stuff
Yeah.
is like going to be the most important thing that you ever do, because who knows how much time we have left before it's
Right.
like.
Well, especially if you go back to like what we were at, where it said the 3.5 to 7 year mark. I know you wanted to break it down, but like the 3.5 to 7 year mark, that starts intense persecution, natural disasters, and the rise of the Antichrist global power. So like if basically like the temple's already being sacrificed and you're setting up an image of it, and that's what this war in the Middle East is after the peace has already been talked about and we're halfway, like, so they're basically saying like the Antichrist global power is about to start coming to light, and that's where stuff's gonna get bad. So
Today's episode is brought to you by Poolin's Polish. Poolin's Polish is an automotive detailing business I started that offers inside and out detailing, buffing, polishing, ceramic coating, undercoating, and more. We service cars, trucks, boats, tractor trailers, etc. in the northern New Hampshire area. Call or text 603-728-5806 to book. That's 603-728-5806 to book.
Sure.
I don't know. I find that like I'm not too educated in this, but this is so weird to me now that like I know the background of it a little bit, and then like seeing it, because Israel is supposed to be like the homeland, right? Like they're supposed to be like the safe place. So like the world is making them out to seem like they're the Antichrist, but it's the people who are fighting against them are actually.
Well,
Like,
the Bible also says that in the end times, which is when we're living in, I believe that we're living in, 2,000 years after Jesus, 5,000 years before that, or 6,000? No, 5. There's a timeline that God gave us from start to finish, in the term of a week, and right now we're at like the end of the last day, I think, is like the timeline. And the Bible says that in the end times there will be people who call themselves Jews, but they're actually the synagogue of Satan. And I think that we should probably like, I don't know.
So let me restart. Tribulation starts.
Like, I'm not even joking. Like, we should probably like cut. Yeah.
No, we'll take politics out of it. Or take politics out of it. Tribulation starts. First 3.5 years is false peace. Okay, and then the Antichrist reveals himself, whatever you believe it to be, and then the second half is like essentially a timeline of war and battle. Is that right to say?
Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
what they're considering it. Like, I know it says natural disaster, but like I think that
Yeah.
is war. Yeah,
And
then
it also says that this period includes the trumpet judgments and bowl judgments. So not only will there be like a very bad experience caused by the Antichrist and the one world government that it's set up, meaning like martial law, who knows
Right.
what, right?
Yeah.
But also like God will pour out his wrath on the earth, and like it'll be very bad.
And then it says at the end of the timeline ends with the battle of Armageddon and the physical return of Jesus Christ. So is this
in the binding of Satan, that was the one part that was getting me. Does that mean like Jesus is going to defeat Satan and become one?
So basically, from my understanding, what I believe, rapture takes place, 7-year tribulation starts, or either way, let's just say we're in the 7-year tribulation. 3.5 years of peace, I guess is what it says, right?
Yeah.
Really good times, and then the last 3.5 years are like very, very bad. I don't want to be here. I don't want anyone I know to be here during that time. Extremely bad. After that, the world, the evil that has taken place in the world is all over. Jesus comes back and reigns in the world as King of the world for 1,000 years, and I believe it'll be a new world. Like, this world that we're living in will be just completely destroyed by the tribulation.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was asking. So kind of like towards the end of the tribulation, it's kind of like the world ends and then restarts. Is that fair enough to say? In a, you know, take it for granted, of course, the world ending, but is that does that make sense? The world technically ends somehow or another, and then Jesus comes back and it restarts.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
And you know what's crazy? Like, you brought up the point of like the one government. I swear on my life, I thought about this the other day. I don't even know why. I don't know if I was dreaming or something or what I was doing. I think I was scrolling through TikTok and maybe like daydreaming. And it was like, because I saw a video of people in Boston.
Yeah.
Like the Iranian woman in Boston were celebrating the fact that their government just got taken out.
Yeah.
And then you had like American women protesting the fact that we bombed them or something. So in my head, I got to thinking, I went off on this tangent in my head. Like I said, I don't know if I went into a daydream or what I was doing, but I was like, you know what? There's so many people in this world that, yeah, you still need law. You still need to follow things. But like, I feel like most people in this world that have common sense, nobody wants a World War III. Nobody wants a nuclear war. Why the hell do we not all just share one fucking, like, you don't share the government, right? But like, you all are like, why, like the United States of America having what, however many billion people we have, Russia, China, all these countries, like, yeah, you're letting this government tell you what to do and you have to fight against other people. But if you all have common sense and nobody wants to fight, why would you not all just share one vision together? Because I feel like if you were to take 90% of the world's population, nobody wants this fight. You know what I mean? So like, if you had 90% of the world population, that would be the most overpowering government or most overpowering anything. The only thing you don't have is the government's okay to do anything.
Yeah. It's weird to think about how different locations on a big rock have such different governments and ways of thinking. You know what I mean?
And like, but I feel like the people don't.
Yeah.
It's just what they've been told by their government growing up. You know what I mean? So that's why I said 90%, I feel like, of the population might all feel the same.
But then what happens, say you have one government for the whole world, and then you get you get the wrong person in there and they try to dictate the whole world, take control over the whole world. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the downside of it.
But I feel like at least at that point you would have the whole world population against. So like now when one person tries to overthrow another government, see what's happening. Like now all of a sudden another country stepping in and bombing them. And then you have these countries mad at this country for stepping in, and then this country mad at this. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like we're so far advanced with technology and stuff that like we shouldn't be where we are, but
yeah.
I think that's going to happen though, with Jesus as the King of the world.
That's what I was going to ask.
Well, and that's why when you brought that up, that's what made me think of it.
That's what I was going to ask. After the physical return of Jesus Christ, does he become the ruler, or does he just oversee either one government or multiple governments to make sure that it's happening in the right way? Or does he just take control over everything?
I think that he will, be the king of the world.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Well,
yeah, that was a in-depth conversation, but I kind of like that. That was different. And
if you guys were able to stay with us, good. It might take a couple listens to really grasp all of what we went through, probably for myself as well. But Yeah, I think that was really good. Thanks for stopping in, man.
Absolutely.
If you want to, plug your businesses, your Instagram, anything like that, go ahead.
Yeah, Rickey Lambert on Instagram. But
Next
Yeah,
level
sure.
coaching when it comes back, or at least.
yeah,
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 cool.
definitely.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.